Welcome.
Welcome to Switching Reels.
I was going to say that.
Welcome to Switching Reels!
We've had alcohol!
Hello, everyone. This is Trenton, Connor, my wife, Miciah, as is the norm for our Christmas episodes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You didn't see last year's because the
You
audio
did
was
not
really
upload
bad. I'm so sorry. Maybe it'll come up again, but
It's
last
okay.
year's
Last
holiday
year's-
episodes were awful.
Well, and last year's Christmas episode, like, the movie I thought was
good.
pretty decent, but
So good.
I feel like our recording was definitely...
I'm not very good at serious movie
Commentary?
commentary.
yeah.
Even though I loved that movie.
It was a really good movie. We should watch it again.
Okay.
We re-record it. I'll mark it as 2023.
No, that's gonna take way too much time.
Connor's like, not here for it.
We can just do a silly Christmas movie every time, get a little bit drunk. We're not drunk.
No,
We just had some alcohol.
exactly.
Absolutely.
He's still That ever doesn't have alcohol. Yes, it does. Never mind.
Mine didn't,
Yeah, yours
because
didn't.
I'm a
Lightweight.
eggnog totaler.
This... I made this after you guys went upstairs.
Nice. Good.
He's doing great.
Awesome. He's staying
Yeah.
home tonight.
Yep. I'm off for half the day tomorrow, so...
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The early half, right?
Whichever half I decide.
Nice.
It might be the middle half.
And then go back at night.
So, today we watched...
Eloise at Christmastime! One of my favorite Christmas movies.
It was fantastic. I think I've seen it now 3 or 4 times.
I watched it a lot.
This is my first time seeing it. I had never seen it before this time.
I love introducing you to new movies, Connor. It's one of my favorite things. It's so rare.
And because you never introduced me to anything that is mind-blowing to me, this was one that got close, but probably for not any reason but the other direction. Or the other direction. What was wild is, okay, so our first Christmas episode we watched Scrooge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
That was so bad.
That's such a good
So-
You I have one very
I like life.
a very important question. If you liked life.
If that movie's on, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this one was a decent movie with just a ton of baffling ideas.
Baffling ideas.
Like one where I totally get the charm, and it's something where, like, when you say, this is one of my favorite Christmas movies, I can go, okay, I get why. I just have way too many questions.
Can I give a
Except I'm
summary
bored.
to everybody?
In a moment.
Okay,
We
cool.
passed our spoiler wall.
Do we want to put the spoiler wall up now?
No, we have to do enjoyment technical. It's very important.
Okay,
Even
okay.
if it's a bonus episode.
Okay, technical, this is like a 3. Maybe a 4. I might go as far as a 4.
I would
The only
say
thing that's gone lower is, I think, Scrooge. So.
I would say technically this was a good. Okay. Are we when we say technical, what do we mean? What's the?
Like if you were to say, this is the place where the movie lands objectively.
Oh.
Like based on its technical prowess, like
Actual,
I would,
Yeah.
I would say, based on the movies I have seen in my life, because I don't watch a lot of films, I would say it's a 5. It's like
Nice.
nothing horrible is happening that makes me like pulled out of the movie. I wouldn't say it's a good movie.
This is my slight bias. I'm pretty sure I put it at a 6.
Really?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I
It's
did.
the setting is good. The production value is not bad.
The plot's normal.
It's okay.
A 6 is probably the highest I would be okay with.
Yeah, I
If
don't
I were to
want
go to a 7, I'd be like,
to a 7. If it's not conscionable.
Yeah.
Unconscionable.
Okay, cool. Where are we at with enjoyment?
10 every time. Partially because most of the time when I watch these now that I'm an adult, I usually get alcohol, and even if I don't, I am laughing at the movie most of the time.
No, it's fantastic.
I mean, enjoyment for me probably lands somewhere around a 6 or 7.
I was gonna sing 8.
That was
Okay.
That was 9.
I mean, again, this is definitely past the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm glad I'm watching.
Exactly.
But it's not to the point where I'm like, I would rather watch this than something else.
That's fair.
I don't regret the time that I've spent on this.
Right.
Says Connor.
Which is basically what like a 5 is. A 5 is this is. I'm fine that it's on TV. 6 is I like that it's on TV. 7 is like I'm enjoying it.
Okay, good.
Right?
Lovely. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So this is somewhere between I'm glad it's on TV and I'm enjoying it.
I think mine's close to a 7 or an 8. So it's just again, and mostly it's the people, and then I also low key resonate with Eloise. Like my little Trenton inside of myself is like good. I'm glad I'm not alone.
Interesting you bring that up.
Good. Okay, now we can go spoiler wall.
Okay.
Lovely.
I mean, I don't.
If you haven't,
This isn't necessarily something that has to be on the other side.
Eloise
just strikes me as that kind of character that I'm like on the verge of hating the entire movie.
Entire movie.
Yes.
Which is weird to say that you
identify
with her strongly because
I don't
I don't feel that way about you.
What time is it? It's time for justice.
But that's the problem, right? You have those moments where I'm like,
okay, great,
I enjoy this.
And then you have
other moments where she's like forcing
French
into her everyday conversation.
There's a reason for that. Okay, spoiler warning.
Okay,
You
yeah.
haven't seen Eloise at Christmas-time.
Thanks for being here. This
if
is switching reels.
If you haven't read any of the Eloise books, which I will say I have not read any of them all the way through. I've just glanced at the pictures.
That's fantastic.
If you haven't seen Eloise at Christmas-time, this rest of this conversation will be a spoiler because he almost spoiled something by way of me because I was about to say something important
Yeah.
So
about the movie.
Thanks for being here.
Sounds like you almost spoiled something.
It's your fault. You said something.
Thanks for being here. This is the Christmas episode.
Christmas.
please
let us know why you like it.
And if you don't like it, tell Trenton why you don't like it.
Just Trenton, not us.
Yeah, no.
Connor and I are too sensitive.
So it's completely reasonable.
I should
look at the comments. I really should.
Some of them are super weird.
Yeah, she has seen some.
There's people that jump in and are
Kyle,
like,
look.
say weird stuff.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, you would. You should go. That's how you can go and check the comments. Let's go and leave a comment.
So, Eloise at Christmas time.
Listen, I have to do my annoying thing, which is take out my spoiler ladder and
It doesn't
put
make
it
any sense.
on the ground in front of the spoiler wall so that I can climb siege ladder like over the spoiler wall.
Despite the fact that we have established that there is a siege moat. Like
around it. It's a
outside
huge
the
ladder.
spoiler wall.
It's a huge ladder.
And it doesn't matter how many times I cut off the legs of it, or I set it on fire, or I just straight up push it back over. He still somehow finds a way to climb over it instead of using the drawbridge that I have established for him.
Last year when I was here, there was no siege ladder, there was no siege moat, there was no spoiler
I've been in
wall.
therapy since then. I've improved myself.
I have not.
Okay.
But we're over. I planted it. We've climbed over. We're all good.
Okay. So, Eloise at Christmas Time is a movie about a 6-year-old girl who is actually 14, but you don't know that.
Is she really 14?
I don't know. That actress is not 6.
She's not 6, but I don't think she's 14
She's
either.
probably like 12. Like 10 to 12.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
She's
Seems
like
right.
Matthew's age, vaguely. Anyways, the movie is
Matthew
about...
is my brother-in-law.
Matthew's my brother. My little brother. And he's He's 10 years old.
He's my brother-in-law, which is
my brother-in-law.
which is what you're all really here to see.
Yeah. So my 10...
No, you and me.
Yeah, so their brother-in-law, my brother, he's 10. The actress is probably also about 10. She's very articulate, especially for a 6-year-old, but frankly also for a 10-year-old. And the course of the movie is an expression of a neglected child whose mom is filthy rich and apologizes for neglecting her by giving her all the money that she wants, paying for a nanny who takes care of her in the Plaza Hotel, which also is the same image that they use for the Tipton Hotel in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and if you've seen that. And Eloise lives her life in this hotel and terrorizes every member of the hotel, like all the employees, all the people living there. Most of the employees actually like Eloise because she brings some amount of joy to their day and is a pretty sophisticated child. She has excellent handwriting. She's wicked smart for we don't know why. But her mom is absent, and that's most of the plot of the Christmas movie. And her nanny is played by
Julie Andrews.
who is just the perfect...
Julie Andrews.
She's just the perfect option. Unfortunately, there are problems that are like Eloise's life is rife with problems that she just does not discuss. Or probably realize, like her nanny is an alcoholic. Most of the people surrounding her are playing pretend with her because they're miserable in their lives. But because you're seeing it through the eyes of a 6-year-old, it's kind of a lovely Christmas experience in New York City. And nothing dangerous happens to her the whole time, except at the end, where she is kidnapped and shoved in a high-voltage closet, which is then locked. And the only reason she doesn't literally die in the boiler room of this hotel is because she remembered to bring her walkie-talkie with her when she was kidnapped.
I feel like that was one of the most comprehensive summaries that we've ever
And
had.
I still didn't touch a single item in the
You touched a single item. It was her getting thrown into the electrical closet for no reason whatsoever.
This is a dude we're supposed to believe has a degree from Harvard.
Well, he doesn't. That's the point.
Well, okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Glad we're over the spoiler wall.
Either way, he is at least supposed to be some level of intelligent.
And he's just like, nope, this is the closet I'm going to throw you into. Also, the bulk under your clothes that is definitely
Also, your entire gift bag.
Right, yeah.
Just going through here.
So you did touch on one plot point.
I would say that this is basically a romantic comedy from the perspective of an outsider who is taking over the role of a villain. Okay.
So let me explain.
Let me explain. Most romantic comedies get you to cheer for terrible people as they sabotage the relationships of someone else that they are interested in order to make them fall in love. This is a character who is not even interested in the relationship. Just sees two people and is like, you belong to each other. And then seeks to sabotage a relationship to get them together. This is the worst kind of matchmaking.
Okay, but to defend Eloise's choices, what she saw of the man was he yelled at the man who he ran into.
He ran over
And then he was on the phone with a gangster saying, "No, please, I'll get you your money after I steal it from this rich woman I'm about to marry," on the phone.
Okay, I will admit that. However, the question is not whether or not he's a good dude. The question is whether or not Eloise should have been hearing any of these conversations in the first place.
Okay, that gets me to why this is my favorite Christmas movie. As a child, I was possibly the snoopiest child that existed on the planet except Eloise, who lived in the Plaza Hotel. And if there was one thing the snoopiest child in the world could have enjoyed, it was living in New York City in a hotel where there were people who were like, don't worry, I'll get the money as soon as I marry this rich woman for her money and not because I love her. Like that is the dream of a child snoop. Words. There is love here, but it is not between this woman and I, so she can ruin the Christmas Eve wedding that previously was the most romantic thing she'd ever heard.
It's a beautiful movie.
I feel like I want to bring logic as a knife to this movie is going to contrast No, you don't understand how it works.
That's how the world works. You snoop on someone, they're evil. You save the woman from the evil man who looks identical to the love interest when they look like
No, we've been over this.
The
evil man looks like a very discount crossover between Paul Rudd and John Hamm. The not evil one.
No.
Both of those are guys.
Yeah, they're both
Paul Rudd is Ant-Man and John Hamm is a ham.
He's a ham.
I don't
know. Much better.
Kyle
Bornheimer
is
Kyle
Bornheimer. It's a discount Kyle
Bornheimer.
He is the good guy.
Oh, okay, good.
Whose name is escaping me now.
Bill.
Just regular Bill.
Yep. Just
old William.
William. All right, my summary time.
Okay.
Eloise is a story about a 6-year-old who, because she misses her mother, and also is bored, loves to play.
In the game,
everyone else's lives.
That's true.
And
loves to win. At the loves to play part,
you could have just stopped there, and that would have described most children.
True.
Like
I don't think that
necessarily most children have
absentee
parents.
However, most children do love to play. And it has nothing to do with the fact that their parents are gone.
That's why I added more.
Okay, fair.
She's bored.
Fair. There are a lot.
Take it from me. I had parents that were not absentee.
I was bored a lot
when I was a kid.
You don't like interacting with people.
Well,
I was raised in the country.
Not the Plaza Hotel in New York City.
Exactly. I didn't have people to spy on and
ruin the
lives of.
Her life. She improved it. Her life was improved.
What about the guy?
He was okay. Let's clarify something for those of us who missed that plot. Apparently, that guy was a fraud and a gangster. He was trying to sneak money away from her. Probably would have just left her without even divorcing her, anyways.
And Santa was the one to go and get it.
Okay, I would like
Santa arrested him.
I would like to point out that Santa Just to check.
I'll do that.
You know what? I think the thing that I find so delightful about Eloise,
she has no boundaries.
She has no boundaries. She's like
walks into a woman's apartment for no reason.
Grabs some towels and then she drops on a conversation. Clearly not for her.
So the thing is, though, she didn't walk into it for no reason. She knew that she was dead, or that she was kicked out of the hotel.
No, this was
before that.
After she knew she was. It was after she knew she was getting kicked out of the hotel.
She was like,
she's not getting any housekeeping, so I will give her some towels from my own home. And then ask for more towels so that I have no problem and I'm not missing my towels. She brought soap as well, if you noticed. She already knew. The thing I like about Eloise is that she's like a force of nature. She's not a human being. Like she's incapable of boundaries.
She's the sprint of the tower.
Jesus, the sprint of the tower. She's like not. She's not a person.
We've referenced Stormlight Archives a number of times. If you haven't read them, just go read them.
It's a good idea.
The latest book in the Stormlight Archive.
Don't tell me anything. Oh, okay.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
He hasn't read it yet.
Yeah.
You haven't owned it yet.
Nope.
So Eloise she's like a force of nature who is incapable of acting anyway, but the way that she is. Which when you're like I recognize this in Trenton's little child. Like when you're like me and you're a kid and you're trying constantly to be an adult and you're not very good at it. It's nice to see a kid that's just not very good at being anything except pure chaos. And be like, that is okay. Like nobody, in the end, because the message of the movie in the end is it's okay that Eloise was chaos because her heart was in the right place and she made everything okay.
I have such a problem with that message.
But Julie Andrews says it.
It doesn't change the fact that I have a problem with the message. I don't care who says it. Doing horrible things for the right reason is how eugenics happens.
Well, what horrible things did Eloise even do?
Is this rhetorical?
She played some music. She got tickets to Gypsy for Bill.
She manipulated the time.
She erased someone. Yeah, she changed the schedule in someone's meeting. That person who is evil. Oh, she did steal that cake. That one does bother me a little bit. She also threw all those presents out onto the floor and then just left. At the beginning of the movie.
All right, so let's be clear here.
On the floor.
We've got fraud, theft, vandalism. I would assume.
Can you charge a child with fraud?
With fraud specifically.
I'm not asking whether or not she can be charged.
I'm asking if the law was broken.
And because this fourth one, it's not even a law necessarily, but it is something that I think we can all agree, like morally, it's kind of messed up. Encouraging cheating.
Okay.
Actively. It wasn't like a if this happens, then it happens. Like it wasn't even neglectful. It was like active. Hey, I am so excited for this guy and this girl to get together, even though she's engaged to someone else.
That's true. I 100% agree with that. I do think that the complicated thing there is one. Well, yeah, there's not really a complicated thing. She didn't encourage cheating actively by any of her actions, but she clearly would have been okay if it had happened.
Disgusted by kissing. So.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't even comprehend what cheating is.
Exactly.
She's like, that person shouldn't be with that person, that person should be with that person, we're breaking them up.
I mean, it depends on at what point you draw that line, right?
Like, that's true.
If making out with someone that you, like, if you are married and you make out with someone else, like, is that cheating? I would make the argument, yes.
That's fair.
I don't think that you have a problem with that.
Of course she doesn't.
Because it's true love.
No, because she's 6
years old. She doesn't understand what true love is.
To be fair, she did encourage her nanny and an old man, roughly the same age as her nanny, who before that we had no concept that they were romantically interested, to buy underwear for each other.
Wait, that
was a thing that she discussed. I don't think they ended up buying anything for each other.
She said that underwear was too intimate, so don't buy that.
That's true.
That was what she said.
Now that said, I don't necessarily know that they weren't interested in one another because the way that this whole situation is introduced is she goes, Nanny, what are you getting for this guy? He's clearly interested in you.
But then she also goes to him and is like, Nanny's clearly interested in you. So I think she's trying to set them up. Which I appreciate because she's 6, and their feelings are clearly there. Because that's what happens for the rest of the movie. They watch weird Santa alien movies.
Which was wild. I really don't understand this movie.
Santa.
This is one of those movies that I watch and I'm like, you know what? This was made for entertainment value.
And that's confusing.
I can enjoy some of the entertainment value, but like you did not put any thought into anything else. Like, is anything that our protagonist doing? Is it moral? Does anything our protagonist do make sense with the effect that is created?
That's also true. Eloise does people react in strange ways. Like she's like, I guess I'll tell Mama that you tried your best. And that man's like, I will get tickets to that show right away.
She dresses up her pug in a tutu, and then the pug knows
to steal the paycheck. And then she takes off, and she's like, I know what was in that envelope. It was a paycheck. Now I'm going to go tell the guy that I just got to. You know what? She's chasing her paycheck. As if this man would not react to that. Anyway, it's like, why is she chasing a paycheck?
I think actually it's probably happened before. Because Eloise, she says she has a plan. She has one plan.
And if it's too bad. That was the plan. So it's gonna happen.
I mean that's true.
One of my favorite moments in this movie is when Bill. So they get back from Gypsy. I hope they've just gone to this movie.
They watched it
together. And they haven't had sex or anything. After watching Gypsy with this woman who he's in love with and she's in love with him, and they're having a good time and they're happy, which is established several times throughout the movie. She goes inside, she's smiling. Her dad notices she's smiling, so he's like, I'm gonna go outside and check.
Around in the snow.
Rock sculpture.
After having two conversations, which means that Bill was out there for the whole time. Two conversations dancing.
He was paralyzed because when you get the drone shot, which is probably a helicopter shot, there's no snow.
There's no tracks.
There's no tracks.
So he was just standing there waiting
for the father to come out so he could jump. And to be fair to this show,
that is diabolical.
I have watched men in high school times be in love with a girl and jump onto every sculpture item that they can see.
Right, but they don't wait for someone else to see that.
I could see his state in which I was like, oh wow, that was really good. I had to process it for a few minutes.
Stand.
And then be exceptionally happy.
Stand. And then just hop around. And it's just the father just timed it perfectly.
Actually. Maybe he was jumping up and down in one spot the entire time.
And now it's time to hop onto this.
I will say, as someone who has been in these situations, you don't just stay in front of the hotel. You go in the direction that you're planning on going, and you jump on everything on your way.
I assume Bill doesn't live in the hotel, so it was a little weird. He just hung out in front of the hotel.
He's just waiting,
just leaves for his vacation after that. He's like, oh wow, that was really nice of Eloise.
Yeah.
Which it was clearly established that she's like, don't go on your vacation, go do this instead.
Yeah. He's like, I can take a later train.
And he did.
And then he didn't. He didn't because
he took 2 trains.
Out of Vermont. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I just realized that the woman I'm in love with who's
marrying another man today.
And I have to go back. And then he went back and he ran in right at the second that she was about to say I do somehow, because that's how it works in romance movies. In case you guys didn't know. And then
unless it's The Graduate.
Which is a movie we haven't watched yet.
It's on the top 250 list. Never mind.
Ignore that I said.
And The Graduate.
He knew when it was going to start.
After they get married. Like in Serendipity. Where she runs in and she's like, where is he? And he's like,
Weddings and a Funeral?
4 Weddings and a Funeral was so sad.
That one was good.
And then he's like, they didn't get married. And then she's like, what? No, Serendipity.
You just haven't watched
Sensibility?
No, we're talking about Serendipity. So in Serendipity, these 2 people try to buy the same cashmere gloves for their partners. And they touch hands and they're like, oh no, we're in love or something. I don't remember. And then they're like, well, and then he's like, I'm in love with you. Can I have your phone number? And they have partners to clarify this. And then
the ship?
No, it's not the ship. And then they separate. And he's like, I need your phone number or something. She writes it in a book, and she's like,
oh, I remember this now.
If you ever get this phone number back, then that means we're supposed to be together.
And then he gets the phone number back, but then...
Sorry, continue.
That's okay.
I'm
questioning logic.
I don't want to spoil the whole movie for you. So the point is, it's like Serendipity, where they're like, we'll get together if we do, and then they do.
Maybe.
Anyways, that's what Eloise at Christmastime is like.
Yeah.
Because he
runs in right at the serendipitous time.
If we're gonna go for like scenes that like frame characters super well, Eloise's introductory scene is perfect.
Yeah, I will say that.
In the box, put me in the room, I'll knock everything out.
She gets transported to where all the gifts are, and she accomplishes her goal of trying to find a gift for herself.
It gave me that perfect sense of,
I hate this
character,
but also she's
quite charming.
Yes.
That is the combination
that I had
for the entire movie.
Right? Very charming. Also, I hate her.
She's 6.
And her handwriting
is impeccable.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's 6.
It has nothing to do with her handwriting being impeccable.
It has nothing to do with that.
The reason
that I have problems with her is that she cares about no one but herself, except in the ways that she... Hold on. If she thinks that a certain situation needs to happen, then she will make it happen regardless of what anyone else involved thinks.
Yes. That's true.
The only moral compass that is involved is her own.
Yes. But
that bothers me so much.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. But like, if you don't have the thing is, to get meta for a second here, about Eloise at Christmastime, the Disney Channel original movie. If she wasn't provided a better moral compass by her non-existent parents or her nanny who is an alcoholic, she's really doing better than most kids. Because she's 100% committed to that moral compass she has. To the point that she will get kidnapped and thrown in the boiler room for the moral compass that she believes is genuinely right. She wasn't taught the Bible. She wasn't taught what correct child behavior should be. There are no other children in the plaza. There's no child. There's no parents. No one's telling her what to do. Nanny's an alcoholic. Her mom's constantly absent. I assume her dad's dead or divorced somewhere. She threw up on Coco Chanel. She has no idea what existence is except her own personal developed moral compass, which for a moral compass developed by a 6-year-old is pretty others focused, I think.
You're not wrong. Okay. You're not wrong.
Someone should tell her
But
something.
Just because her moral compass is impressive for the circumstances that she's been in does not change the fact that the things that she's doing are pretty wrong.
Yeah.
About, I'd go 60% of the time. Minimum.
Yeah,
There's a good portion of time where I'm like, no, that's just messed up. Stealing a woman's paycheck off of her desk is messed up.
That's true.
Dog did that.
Yeah, her dog.
Which she clearly trained to do that one thing. Don't tell me that dog had the agency in the situation.
Dog had the agency in the situation.
Can you imagine training a dog to steal a paycheck? So much work.
That's so good.
Oh, she might not be able to eat this week. I hope not.
She also, yeah, I agree with that. There's actually, like, opening scene,
Paychecks can be reprinted.
Opening scene. She presumably destroys a bunch of other people's presents.
Right, yeah.
Like probably hundreds of dollars.
Can you
It's a Plaza
imagine
Hotel, hundreds of dollars.
the insurance policy that her mom has to have for this child? You know,
This is the
how much-
Eloise insurance.
Exactly. It's just,
People
hey,
just
No,
call
this
her.
is for the hotel.
yeah,
This
there
isn't
we
her
go.
mom. This
No,
is on the hotel.
This is my
Probably
business
both.
card.
You know, like
and
when
it
she goes
includes-
out into the world with her nanny, and anytime something bad happens, her nanny just has to give a card. She's like, sorry.
Yeah, she came into Toys R Us and started kicking over the displays without putting them back.
And then she sends this poor secretary out to look through an empty box full of hundreds of dollars of shredded paper and nothing else. That woman also, something that strikes me as weird now as an adult is how often there are sexual comments made in Eloise at Christmastime that before I was like, oh, that's just background noise. The nanny saying, my blessed, what was it? Something,
Sainted.
Aunt Fanny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the secretary's going through that box and both the doormen are looking into the box and then one of them's like eyes up,
Yeah, exactly.
implying that they're both looking at her butt in a movie for children.
I mean, I will take these kind of jokes over the, hey, we just made a sex joke, and none of the kids noticed it because...
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I agree.
those are obnoxious.
They're not good.
These ones I'm at least like, okay, whatever, you put in a joke about... Yeah, they're checking out her butt. It's like, okay, it was dumb, but fine, whatever.
No kid's gonna be like, Mom, what does that mean? They're just gonna tune it out like they do.
Right.
So, yeah, Eloise does a lot of destruction and doesn't really have a moral compass, but I do think that's her parents' fault. She has done her best to
I feel like you're reading way too much into her character, though.
What she's learned is that any damage that is caused by her will be fixed.
That's true.
Okay, there might be an argument for that. I still don't think that the writers of this put nearly that amount of thought into it. Like, this is not the story of a child acting out. This is a story of a child who has no supervision and therefore can do whatever they want.
That's true.
Like, there might be...
Whatever they want is to solve people's love problems.
And there might be an argument that
And fraud.
other people will clean up
Help
her...
the FBI.
I mean, there might be an argument that other people clean up her mess, but that just goes to feed into the escapist fantasy of just being this child that lives in a hotel with no parents.
I love that.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but it's just Eloise
Yep.
by herself.
Again, I didn't really watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, so I don't
They're
have
twin
knowledge.
boys who live in the Tipton Hotel, which is the same effectively as the Plaza. And their mom is the singer in the hotel, and they don't have a dad or something. I don't remember. Like their dad's absent or dead. I don't remember which one. And they go to school and they come back and they have a couple of friends, but for the most part, they just cause trouble in this hotel. Like that's mostly what they do. And that trouble they cause is the same as Eloise's trouble, which is there are people that don't understand how life should be, and I have no moral compass because I have no moral supervision. And so my moral compass is that of a very innocent child, and I will enact it. And ultimately, it ends up making people's lives better because it is as pure as it can get. There's nothing in the way of Eloise or Zach and Cody. Except
I guess
this might delusion.
This might be like just a worldview philosophy. I fundamentally reject the blank slate model.
The kids are blank slates?
Yeah, the kids are blank slates and are basically pure when they enter the world and have to learn to be evil. I don't agree with that. I genuinely believe
theology podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Trenton's like super excited to talk about like original sin. This is about Eloise, not original sin, and they're not the same. Tune in next week for Eloise and original sin. I'm Trenton in this room, but I am not, because I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about.
I'm not going to go any further than saying. This might just be a matter of I don't believe that children are basically innocent. And therefore Eloise
has fundamental problems if she's not started as innocent and just didn't get anything new. I respect that. I understand. I think it's weird that she has a turtle and a dog.
I
don't mind that.
Of being covered in stuffed animals that I'm holding a committee with.
There were so many. Also, did you notice that one of her dolls was a fashion model, like with a baby doll head on it with no arms or legs?
Yes.
I did not notice that.
It's to point back to the fact that her mom is like really big in the fashion world.
That's fair. I would also like to point out, like, of the three of us in this room, I am the least whimsical person here.
I'm very whimsical.
And your whimsy is next to your nostalgia.
I am. Oh yeah, that's a I don't have any nostalgia whatsoever.
For years to see if I can find one. Nostalgia.
So my nostalgia is not existent. My whimsy is it does exist.
Yeah.
It's just small.
Not so far now.
Without nostalgia or whimsy, Eloise is really just a concerning movie. I have both nostalgia and whimsy.
There's some charm to it. I would say there's no nostalgia for me whatsoever, and there couldn't be because I never saw this movie.
Exactly.
There is a small amount of whimsy, and there is a pretty decent helping of charm. I will admit that. Like there are a number of concerning things about this, and I find them funny to talk about, which is why I keep bringing them up. However, this is a charming movie. Like I will fully admit that.
It's delightful. I think I agree with you though. There's absolutely you don't watch this movie and go, I will raise my child to be like Eloise.
Oh no. I would put my child up for adoption before they ended up like Eloise.
I would absolutely encourage my child to be as committed to being themselves as possible. But I would also teach them that there are some things in life that are more important than your perspective, which no one teaches Eloise. She has no concept that she might perceive things wrong. And the thing about it is, I think the reason I find the movie so gratifying is she's never wrong. Her perspective is never wrong. She hasn't learned yet not to destroy people's presence or create problems. But it's all
be a home wrecker.
She's doing the wrong things for the right reason.
It's an ends justify the means, but she's actually right the whole time. Because the thing is, it would be basically unforgivable if the guy was just a dick, like the guy that what's his name? Smuts or whatever.
Yeah, Smitty.
Whatever that guy is.
I don't remember his name, but wrong.
If that guy, Brooks the third, if he had just been, I hope it's okay that we're cursing.
You're good.
I always mark these explicit.
If he had just been a dick.
If it makes you feel any better, I'll just say it.
Fuck.
If he had just been mean and not actively out to ruin her life. I think there could have been argument that she was not completely right. But she actually perceived things that implied that this man could have gotten his wife killed, but at least was planning to leave her destitute and just ditch her. And that means Eloise was right the whole time and actually saved this wonderful, sweet woman whose name I've forgotten.
Yeah, but she doesn't tell anybody.
Because in her moral code, Pinky promised not to tell anybody.
She tried to.
She tried to tell Nanny, and Nanny said you can't.
But also then she still tried to tell. Like eventually she broke. She
true.
tried to go and tell Mr. Peabody. She tried to go and tell. What's her face?
Oh, she tried to tell Mr. Peabody, and then she tried to tell Mr. Peabody's daughter. But when she went to tell Mr. Peabody's daughter on the day that she got kidnapped and shoved in the boiler room where she almost could have perished. But she didn't.
She tried when she had enough data.
Okay. There is an argument to be made that she tried to tell people. She was not very persistent in the trying to tell people. She was extremely persistent in the doing ridiculous things.
As soon as she started to try and tell people, she got put into a boiler room.
That wasn't the only time she tried to tell people.
It was?
It did go. She went to Mr. Peabody. She got sent away. She went to Julia, I think is her name. She got sent away.
Oh no, she went to the cooks.
She went with Mr. Peabody, then the cooks, then Julia, then she got put in the boiler room.
I feel like she should have told Julia after she was hiding under the table. Like at that point.
So she was hiding under the table. Here's the way it goes. Hiding on the table. Nanny tells her you're wrong. Pinky promised me you won't tell anybody. Pinky promises her.
So she tries.
Then she perceives a new piece of information that this guy actually is dangerous. She goes to try and tell 3 different sets of people, and she gets put in a boiler room.
In this case, Nanny is the problem.
Nanny. Okay, we love her because she's played by Julia Roberts, but Nanny is a problem.
Julie Andrews.
She's played by Julie Andrews, but Nanny is a problem the whole time. She's drunk most of the time. She does not perceive when Eloise is correct, even though throughout the rest of the book and the movies, Eloise is correct. Poor Nanny, who won't refer to herself by her own name and refers to herself solely as Nanny,
by her occupation,
really needs some help.
And a raise.
All right. Well. Yep.
Beautiful trip.
We are running low on battery.
I talked for a second.
So I feel like we've kind of. At this point, our conversation would go in a circle of beating a dead horse, and you all trying to beat me as
There's
I
a
beat
horse
the
in
dead horse.
Eloise.
There's a horse in Eloise.
And he has a bow.
And a carrot. Hey Connor, I got a question for you.
Shoot, please.
How do we end this?
Just like that.
Just like that.